How's it going, everybody? RyeSquad here today, and we are back with your Columbus Blue Jackets, the back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Columbus Blue Jackets. And today, guys, we are going to continue the Blue Jackets franchise mode. I know you guys said that you're interested in the Calgary Flames franchise that is coming soon. So if you're new and you're still here and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. But guys, can we get 10 likes for this Columbus Blue Jackets back-to-back championships? And what we're going to do is we're going to continue to do out this series until we fail to retain our title. It's as simple as that. We win the cup, we keep making more Columbus Blue Jackets episodes. We lose the cup, we stop, and we move over to the Calgary Flames, where I've got a couple ideas there to make that interesting. I know we had the wheel here. I think we're going to skip the wheel now just to make these episodes come out a bit quicker, less thinking, things like that. But congratulations to Tampa Bay and Ottawa, who both move up to 1 and 2 in the draft, and then Vancouver slides from 1 to 3. Okay, not too bad. Detroit from 2 to 4, Seattle from 3 to 5. Obviously, those teams are going to slide a little bit. Not us, because we are back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. The draft probably is not too important for us right now. I know the draft, it could be important, but in all honesty, I don't really foresee us getting anybody now that's going to come up and make an impact like Lidman or Lieutenant. Was it Lieutenant? I kind of forgot his name already. The one guy that stayed in the AHL this year. I know Marcus Lidman, I think, is the guy that I called up. The other guy, forgot his name. But Anze Kopitar, Phil Kessel, Vlasic, Ben, Carter, Doughty, Perron, Carlson, OEL, Oshie, Shattenkirk, Jiver, Letty, Johansson, Krug, Orlov, Savard, Hayes, Tatar, Kulik. Well, good God, this is a lot of so many 1,000-game players. Look at all these guys. Now, with injuries and stuff, this will be different because all these guys have pretty much been fully healthy. Yeah, there we go. Now we're starting to get into the guys that didn't play too much. And then the goaltenders, Marc-Andre Fleury retires at the age of 43, so 79 overall. Marc-Andre Fleury no longer in the NHL. Brian Elliott, Darcy Kemper. Brian Elliott, I can't believe him and Marc-Andre Fleury are the same age. It just feels like Brian Elliott is so much older. But Kemper, Reimer, Talbot, Mrazek, Matt Murray. Okay, yeah, so Phoenix Copley retired. Look at that. Didn't play too many games, but he's getting more in real life right now. So Erik Karlsson is a San Jose Sharks coach. He made his way back to San Jose. Interesting. And as far as our coaching staff goes, nobody retired, right? So the Cleveland Monsters and the Columbus Blue Jackets, neither of our no coach on our staffs retired. So we're just going to go ahead and keep it rolling here. We're into the draft. Let's take a look at our draft board. We don't have anybody pinned. I haven't taken a look at the draft class, right? But we got pick 32, and then we got 3 thirds, 2 fourths. So we got some depth picks. This will definitely help. You guys can see that our forwards are a strength. Our forward prospects, though, are a weakness. Defensively, we're solid. Again, we need prospects. That's kind of what happens when you win the cup back-to-back. We're strong at goaltending, in my opinion, and they agree, right? Top prospects are strong. Goalie prospects are strong, right? So we have our top. Oh, okay. So our forward top prospects are a strength, but as a whole, we don't have many forward prospects. Whereas with the defense, we don't have top prospects, but we do have a decent amount, an average amount of defensive prospects as a whole. And I really agree with that take. So I think what we'll do is we'll take a look at who's projected to go near the end of the first round, zoom in on them a little bit. I know I already skipped past the draft interviews, but Brody Stoner, oh God, this guy get Stoner. He looks good, and oh man, he's got a character concern. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love that. That couldn't be any better. Why can't I get guys like that? Oh yeah, I guess I draft too much with my head and not enough with my heart. But here we go. Down here, there's a defenseman. How many years away? I kind of want to find somebody who's like close, right? Because we know that, oh wow, that's not even close to where we're picking. All right, so actually Dale Brophy here plays like Claude Giroux, 3 years away, 5'8" only, playmaker. There's a 2-bar medium elite, Chase Kong, who's potentially 2 years away. Kind of like the idea of that. A 2-way forward, maybe. His skating's not great. Defense isn't great either. Do we have anybody? A 2-bar medium elite, Gabriel McBride as well. Are there any good defensemen in this class? It doesn't look like we were able to uncover any solid defensemen. Now, here we go. A low top 4 defenseman. Not exactly something I'm clamoring for. Greg Foligno, another player, another guy in the long lineage of Folignos in the NFL. NFL, Jesus, NHL. It's playoff time for the NFL, so I'm kind of focused on that. But as far as projected gems that we found, I don't listen to the gem. You guys know that I don't give any weight to what the EA calls a gem because it doesn't matter. I guess Dale Brophy's really the only guy that we've been able to identify as a guy that is a steal at his draft slot. Now there's Valery Zykov, 4 years away. He's 19, but to potentially be a medium top 4 defenseman that late in the draft, why are these guys gems? They're not gems. Lincoln maybe has total eclipse. I don't know why I'd want a defenseman to have total eclipse anyway. He was a defenseman, right? Yeah, he's a defenseman. Why would I want total eclipse? That's actually going to work. I was going to say it would work against us. It's not going to activate, but you guys know what I mean. I don't want him screening my goalie, and I'm not putting him in front of the goalie. So either way, here we go. Ready to start the draft. I wonder, you know what? Would somebody give us something for a first and a second? I don't really... Is there something that I could get? Tyler Seguin, a third and a fourth. Tyler Sagan's got 1 year left. How good is he? Because Crosby's probably... He actually didn't retire. Seguin is actually exact top 9 at 84. He's really good. I just worry that he's going to drop off quite a bit. So the Nashville Predators are actually interested in this pick. So let's see. Skaters matching the block. Nick Paul, 85 overall at $3.5 million for 1 more year. Nick Paul, a power forward who's only 33. I really feel like that's a solid depth acquisition. To give up our first for him, I don't know, but his defensive category is great. We would be over the league maximum salary cap this season. So how about I go ahead and throw back their way somebody that is making a cap hit that I'm not planning on re-signing. Cole Sillinger, I could throw their way. They want him. We'd still be over the league maximum salary cap. Oh, is this for next year or this year? Or maybe because Cole Sillinger wasn't starting. I don't know. Let me throw Werenski in there. That goes down by $7 million. Okay, it doesn't go down by the $9 million. So I guess it might be we have to do somebody with 2 years left on their deal, which could be interesting. Tyson Forster's making $1 million. It would still not go through. Would be over the cap. Did that even change? Maybe because Forster's in AHL? His cap hit's buried. Boqvist looks, wow, he's got insane trade value. 2 more years left at 4.5 too. Luukkonen, yeah, there he is. 77 Luukkonen. I'm excited to see him come up as the playmaker. 6'3", 210 as well. So good to see that. Patrick Laine, not getting rid of him. Matachuk, he's solidified here as a depth defenseman. Elias Pettersson is crazy. Jirasek, Fantilli. Yeah, we've got our core pretty much locked up. This is just skaters matching the block. I can go to all skaters and probably find us some players who are in the NHL that I want to get rid of. Let's go ahead and just sort by salary. Anybody here that's expiring that I'm getting rid of? Sidney Crosby's making $8 million. You guys can have the first crack at Sidney Crosby. A first in Crosby for Nick Paul. Nick Paul's pretty good. To give up a first-round pick is a lot, but again, we're trying to retain our title here. Sid, I don't know what Sid would want, but he's 40, listed as a bottom 6 forward now, down to an 83. He's only going to drop off. Propose the trade. It's too far off. Okay, let me see if I can throw in one of the thirds we have as well. Throw in the 96, the first and a third, as well as the rights to Sidney Crosby for Nick Paul. Trade accepted. I actually like that deal a lot. I actually like the acquisition of Nick Paul. Let's take a look at our forwards now. Taking a look here, we've got a draft pick, and there goes Stoner, the 82 overall power forward, 6'1", 196 with character concerns, big tipper, relentless, close quarters, 1T and third eye. That is a solid player with a great shot. Defensively, you'd like to see him be a little bit better. He's a pretty solid skater. This is going to be a really good pick. But let's take a look at our players, right? Let's project the lines out. We know we re-signed Werenski. I don't know how much cap space we're going to have left, right? I wish it would tell me next season's cap, but taking a look here, we got Pettersson, Johnson, Gaudreau, Laine, Fantilli. Now Paul is there. Beauvillier, Chinikov, Marchenko. I believe, yeah, Beauvillier is re-signed. Chinikov is out. So we can let Chinikov go because we acquired his replacement here in Nick Paul, who I think is going to fit our team very, very well. We don't have a player quite like him, 6'3", 223. Marchenko and Chinikov. Yes, Chinikov had a great year, but Marchenko's signed for 2 more years at $5 million. Good goal scorer, right? Get some defense on that line with Nick Paul, and I think we'll be solid, right? Beauvillier can stay on the second line with more, or depending on chemistry, we can maybe flip flop him with Nick Paul. Although he's such a good fit for that second line, I don't see why we'd move him. So the third line would then be Nick Paul with Marchenko, and then somebody would have to step up here to be the center. We've got Lidman, we've got Roseanne, we've got Thomas. Any of those guys could step up. Rem Pitlick, Cole Sillinger could even grow, right? We could be looking at a chance for Madden to come up and be the guy. Forrester, if he jumps at all. And overall, Bentley, right? 77 overall, Toby Bentley. How did he do? We got him from the Detroit Red Wings at the draft last year, but 54 points in 72 games played, 24 goals as well as a playmaker. He looks really solid. Maybe one more year in the AHL when he's 21. Luukkonen, maybe Luukkonen comes up too and jumps enough. I think what I want to do is get a third line center who's like an 82 who I can slot down onto the fourth line should we need him. That's probably what I want to do in free agency. Take a look at defensemen. It's solid. We got Boqvist, Jirasek. Jirasek signed for a crazy deal. Zach Werenski did drop off down to an 87, so he's rightfully going to be on that set middle pairing. Rensfeldt jumped to an 85. We love to see that as an offensive defenseman. He looks fantastic with his passing and his offensive awareness. Defensive category looking really, really solid as well. Great skater. Not the most physical, but hey, I'll take it. Again, he didn't have the craziest year points wise, but maybe we'll play him with Boqvist, and then Jirasek and Werenski is our second pairing. DeMello probably going to be on his way out, and we can probably call up Johannesson. Johannesson, a two-way defender, solid defensive category, actually, just really poor offensively, but that would be what Matachuk is for. Matachuk, very well-rounded offensive defenseman. That defensive category, the awareness is poor, but the others are good. Hull, the defensive defenseman, goes to Ottawa, but I'm actually quite happy with how we look, right? I guess I'll just go ahead and we gave up our first and our third. We're gonna get to the second round draft pick. I don't want the third overall pick. I do, but I don't want to give what it would take. So let's just go ahead and jump forward to the second round, pick 64. Who's on the board? Anybody interesting? Anybody of note? There's Greg Foligno. He's potentially 4 years away. There's Gavin Powell, who's 4 years away. We've got 3 years away, Chance Fistrick. Chance Fistrick here, he's listed as 3 years away. We know that for a fact. Question is, what's the difference between 3 and 4 years? There's Sakic, who's 3 years away. Dump cycle energy block overload. The 17-year-old power forward. If there was a defenseman that I knew anything about, I might go after him here. But there's Maroon. We know for a fact he's 4 years away. This guy's almost 2 years away. Mario Lorake, he is 20. Seth Waltz here is 4 years away. Yeah, we're starting to look into this. Actually, we could take a couple shots at these medium elites. Sean Binaural. Okay. What a name. 6'5" defenseman, shoot pinch. I'm just going to take him. At this point, we'll just take a chance and see what we get. It's going to be... he's going to be a 56 medium top 6, so not the best. So we do have one pick, though, before ours. It's Sundstrom, the power forward. I think what I'd want to do is maybe take Fistrick. He's 3 years away. Do we see somebody I feel like we saw somebody that was 2 years away. We saw somebody that was potentially 2 years away. 3 years away here for Simon Furland. I kind of like the idea of a 2 year away guy, a 3 year away guy, but he is also an overager. Same thing with Mario Larac. I don't know how to listen. I butcher names all the time. You'll just have to get used to it. 4 years away here. Do we have anybody 3 years? 3 years? I mean, this low top 4 defenseman, he's 3 years away. Let's go ahead and take him. He might have an X factor. Does he? Does not. So he's a 62 at 18, low top 4 defensive defenseman. I'm actually kind of okay with that. Hopefully it's the third round, right? We'll take a swing on a guy and hope he grows. Actually, some of the guys that we were looking at just went. Anybody that we missed on, Foligno was low top 4 defensive defenseman, but less overall, right? Fistrick was a medium top 9. That's not bad. Low top 6 for Powell. Timander's low. Sakic, okay. Low top 6 Wong. I really don't see that we missed on anybody here. There's Peyton Maroon. There is Mario. Obviously, Mario, we know he's 20, though. Rob Bowie is 20 as well. It's just... a bunch of overagers here. Newman 4 years, 5 years. Yeah. Medium elite Osborne. Yeah, we don't know anything about him. Medium top 9, but 5 year away Grinder feels like something that it's not worth it. Alex Apostolopoulos, as if me saying names could get any worse. Potentially low elite here, 2 low elites. Lamoureux, 4 years. I'll take the defenseman. He's 17. I'll take the low elite potential defenseman. He's a low top 6 defenseman, defensive defenseman, so not the greatest. We'll go to pick 98, which is here at the early 4th round. Who do we trade with, by the way? I forget who got that pick. It wasn't Vancouver. Vancouver was the last place team in the league. Either way, it might have been, it wasn't Pittsburgh. I don't know. Christian Renberg, 4 years away. I just kind of want to find some elite talent. Ernesto McKee, potentially 2 years away. Low top 6, but 65. I'll take a 60. I mean, he's 19. Low top 6. Again, we're just taking a bunch of defensemen that, look at that. All defensemen so far. The only guy is Kerslake. Wow, we should probably take something other than a defenseman with this pick, unless that's all I'm going to be presented with, and it's kind of the case here. There's Jared Sillinger. A goalie actually looks really good. I'm going to take him. And we get a medium fringe starter. Okay, I don't actually hate taking a medium fringe starter at the end of the 4th round. Here at the end of the 5th round now, 2-bar low elite Taylor Hill. 5, you know what? I'll take it. Take the swing on it. 2-bar low elite. He's low top 9. Okay, great. Low top 9 is actually not that terrible for this stage in the draft. This is a 2-bar Maxwell, 2-bar medium top 4 defenseman. Best potential left is a bunch of guys that have 1-bar medium elite, and we kind of can agree that they're not going to be that. Valery Zykov, we'll take him, right? We'll see what he's got going on. Medium top 6 is actually really good for the late 6th round. We've got a couple late 7ths here. Don't really know much about these players anymore, so it's time to start taking some swings on some of these guys and just hope. I'll take Cal Vickland, low top 6 defenseman. We know exactly what he is. I mean, I guess that's not really a swing, but that is what it is. It's the entry draft of us defending our title. It's not that important of a draft, right? I mean, we've got guys in the system already. We've got a couple coaches that are going to need re-signing. Our head coach and our associate coach down in the minors. I think you were a head coach. Why do you not want to be a head coach again? Anyway, let's give him some money. Love having owner mode turned off because I don't actually have to worry about the money, which is fantastic. It makes it so much easier. If you guys ever play with owner mode on, you do actually have to worry about the staffing salary and the budget. Are there any scouts coming up? Okay, so there's a couple scouts coming up. I will take care of these guys. Rodin, obviously gonna bring Natalie back. And then these 3 I probably can let walk and replace them as is. So USA Central, NHL Central, USA East, and OHL. So we'll just release these 3, and then we can focus on it later. So now we need to look at re-signing actual players. And there we go. So we're ready to start the re-signing phase. Let's get it underway. Johnny Gaudreau is going to need a contract after this year at 34. I feel like, I mean, he's been insane, right? We're hanging his number in the rafters. Absolutely. I mean, this is insane. Ever since we took over, 87 points was his minimum. 104. Yeah, no, he's crazy. So let's take a look at who is actually expiring. Chinikov is expiring. DeMello is expiring. We have a contingency plan for both of these guys. We have $8 million in cap space. Chinikov, I see, like, I want a center, right? And I think he deserves a chance somewhere else. He was great for us last year, right? 49 points, playing on the 3rd line, his second best season. I think we had him on the 2nd line a few seasons ago. No, actually, he was probably playing more special teams time. Either way, I think it's okay to let Chinikov walk. I think Dylan DeMello, honestly, he didn't have that crazy of a year. 5 points plus 1. Did rebound down the stretch, had 1 game-winning goal in the playoffs. He was fantastic. He was a plus 14. He's exactly kind of what we need. He's 35. Can I interest you in a 1 year? I mean, 1 year, $2 million, guys. That leaves us $5 million to find a 3rd line center. I think it's worth it. I think DeMello, I think he's fine. We don't really have anybody in the system that's ready to come up and take his spot. So I'll give him that offer. Cole Sillinger, what kind of contract is he looking for? He's looking for a 2-way deal. Can I give him $1 million? I can give him $1 million on a 2-way deal. So we'll go ahead and do that. He'll probably be down in the minors. Bernie, yep, another guy that we can just fix. Wolanski, yeah. So this is really inconsequential here. I'll go through and take care of this, guys. Catch up with you in a minute. Actually, Wong, one of our draft picks, Eric Wong, 2nd round pick in 2026. is now up to a 73 at 22. So he's somebody that's getting his ELC now, and he's going to get a shot, and maybe in a few years to be a bottom pairing defenseman for us. But that is kind of exciting news. So taking a look at goaltenders, Tarasov, we are going to let him go. He's not interested in extension. We already rolled the wheel, told us that. Jet Greaves could be the guy. It could be Kirsch. It could be Kilger. We got a couple guys down here too that could play, but for now, I think Jet Greaves is penciled in as the starter. He's played, he's played really, really well down in the minors. I think he deserves a shot at the NHL level, and that leaves Kirsch and Kilger to split the duties down there in Cleveland. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up signing guys for the AHL, and then we can catch up when we get to free agency. So we made it to free agency. We need a couple scouts and a new AHL assistant coach, associate coach, whatever the second in command is. But we did bring back pretty much everybody. I did try and project some ice time out for some of our defensemen in the system. I think Johannesson is probably a guy that I can play the 7th defenseman role if we need him. We've got DeMello back for a 1-year, $2 million deal. I don't mind moving on from him if we find somebody who is a slam dunk. But really what we need mostly is a third line center, right? Taking a look at the forward core, we got Pettersson, Johnson, Gaudreau, Laine, Fantilli, Paul, Beauvillier, Marchenko, and then it drops off to Lidman. Lidman is good, right? 80 overall, playmaker, love that. 78 faceoffs, so we wouldn't be the worst on the faceoff dot. But I think we saw when Sidney Crosby was on that line, winning faceoffs, making plays. Doesn't matter how old they are to me, right? We just 6-ish million. The defensive core I think is fine. If I can find somebody out here that fits the bill, I would love to go after Connolly. Something tells me he's an RFA. He is. Franchise defenseman from the Predators. They have not signed him yet. All these guys at the top are RFAs. So don't get your hopes up there. What we do want to find though are maybe some UFA defensemen. Sort by overall. I mean, we could definitely sign somebody like Barry, but again, is he really much of an upgrade over DeMello? Not really. He's an offensive defenseman, so give or take, right? Ian Mitchell, really solid, actually. Ian Mitchell's a really, really solid player here. 48 points playing in the AHL last year. Not really had much of a chance in the NHL, although he did get 7 points in 20 games, a +1 for the New York Islanders here. They did play him on their bottom pairing. Actually, I wanted to see what is actually his giveaway and takeaway ratio. That's actually a really good giveaway to takeaway ratio. I know he's been in the AHL, but he looks like a pretty solid player. Somebody, I mean, for 1.35 million, I could take a swing on. Let's take a look at centers, though. I want to find some guys that can play center for us on the third line. A guy like Domi, a playmaker here, solid defensive category. Actually, I want to sort by defensive category, see what kind of defensive forwards we can get. Obviously, Barbashev is at the top. We do have, Ryan O'Reilly, 37-year-old Ryan O'Reilly here. Again, that's what you want to look out for, is his puck skills and his senses have seriously declined. His shot and his defense are still there, but they're not the kind of ratings that I want for my third line center when you compare it to a guy like what we saw Max Domi have at 3.775 for 2 years. I'd see if I could maybe get him for 1 year. There's also a guy like Charlie Coyle here, power forward, decent speed, very physical. I think he does have 80 faceoffs, right? We're looking for faceoffs. David Gustafson here, not really the guy I'm looking for. Logan Couture is 39, a little old for me. Peyton Krebs, not the faceoff guy I'm looking for. Chandler Stevenson would be great. That would be all of our money. He only wants a 1-year deal, though. He's insane. He is insane. To even be talking about this guy as our third line center, I think shows kind of how lucky we are to be in the position we're in. I think we're going to actually go after him. Chandler Stevenson, offer him the contract. We don't have much room other than this, so going after somebody else is kind of out of the question, but we'll offer him the $6.1 million right off the bat. I mean, listen, it's a 1-year deal. He's basically a Crosby replacement. He's not nearly as sick as Sidney Crosby was, but him and Nick Paul on that third line with Marchenko, I think that's going to be a fantastic third line. It could even be Beauvillier if chemistry works out to be that way. But I need to sign some scouts and some coaches, so give me 1 second and I'll go do that. All right, so a couple days have gone by. We've got the scouts. Haven't really heard back. We haven't heard back from Chandler Stevenson yet. We did hear back from one of the coaches that I offered. He said no, so we're going to hopefully get one here. There's our final scout that we needed. And on the 5th, Chandler Stevenson. All right, Horak is the coach I signed. Chandler Stevenson is going to go with Pittsburgh, and I mentioned him being a potential Sidney Crosby replacement. He goes to Pittsburgh. And it's funny that I'm mentioning him as a Sidney Crosby replacement for us. Max Domi still out there. He has lowered his asking price. There's Philip Hedl now, who, I mean, 3 years at 4.9 for him as a two-way forward. It doesn't win the faceoffs like I want. Ryan O'Reilly clearly does. Charlie Coyle may be the best of both worlds. There's Blake Lizotte here. Alex Turcotte as well. Actually looks like, I can't tell who might be better. It looks like Blake Lizotte's better defensively, defensive awareness, and could put up a bit more offensively for us. So Blake Lizotte, I think I might sign him because I could easily move him down to the fourth line if need be. But I'm looking at all these guys' face-off ratings, and are we looking at just centers? We are. And we're starting to get into some face-off ratings that aren't the best. Elmer Soderblom. Yeah, Frederick Gaudreau here. Yeah, Jack McBain. Jack McBain. Yeah, I think our best bet is to go back up here. We still have the 6.6 million. Would have been nice. I could try and overpay Hedl. Ivan Barbashev would be great. But I think what I want to do is not Ryan O'Reilly, not Charlie Coyle, but go with Blake Lizotte. I think Blake Lizotte will get us more points because look at the puck skills category goes up by, yep, it goes up by a half a star. He's got the same defensive category, same senses, same skatings. His physical's not as good. Neither is his shot, but I mean that's the difference with the puck skills, right? He's gonna put up more points for us. He's listed as a playmaker. I'm fine with a 1 year, $2 million deal for him. He's 30, so we don't really have to worry about any kind of drop off. Does he fit the scheme? He fits the second line and the penalty kill, which is that's beautiful, right? That's exactly what we want out of this guy. It would free us up some money to go after another defenseman if we wanted to, but I think I'm okay with that for now. We brought DeMello back. I'm not too concerned about it. If we need to as well, Blake Lizotte is going to sign, so that's beautiful. I was going to say if we need to, we could always go out and trade for a third line center, but I think that makes the most sense right now. I don't want to give up too many assets, right? We want to keep this dynasty going as far as possible. I also have the idea of simulating 5 years into the future, letting you guys know what happens. We'll jump in. Maybe we can get this one more year, three-peat. I don't know, but whenever we end it, I'm going to find some time, simulate 5 years in the future, jot some notes down, and show you guys the key things. But speaking of key things, we need to go ahead and take a look at the lines as we begin our back-to-back title defense. Here we go, ready to take a look at these lines. What are we dealing with? We got Gaudreau still an 89, Pettersson 94, Line A at an 85, and you guys know we're already gonna mess with these lines. Line A has been just a stud on the second line. He's played second line ice time both years. Now back to back, 99 points last year, 30 points. He did maintain his power play time or his power play points. Power play goals actually went up. Obviously, you can see these last 2 years, 76 points, 99 points. He's easily a guy that we can move up in case of emergency. Great takeaway ratio there, too. Marchenko, I'm going to move down. Beauvillier fits. Nick Paul doesn't. Rosen fits. Nick Paul, flip-flop him with Rosen. Rosen goes down there. Marku Lidman did not grow. Marku Lidman, that's a little bit disappointing to see there, my guy. Scratched is Pitlick and Cole Sillinger. Down here, I don't think I want Akil Thomas. I'm fine with Rem Pitlick. We're pretty much running it back besides the third line center now being Blake Lizotte. I think I did some good business there. Fantilli looks really good. Kent Johnson, still surprised to see him not really grow. He's still he's a pure out and out 90, right? At 85 faceoffs, he should be playing center. Pettersson's left-handed shot. Gaudreau's a left-handed shot. I think I'm fine with Pettersson because he does have the 1T ability, right? So I actually really like that. Line A has make it snappy, close quarter, shotgun. Okay, so that's fine. Defensively, Rensfeldt here, we'll move him up and then flip-flop. There we go. So we get Werenski, Jirasek get a +3. Boqvist, Rensfeldt getting a +2. And now Rensfeldt being an 85 as an offensive defenseman. Guys, we might be turning Rensfeldt into something special, but we got DeMello and Matachuk. DeMello now listed as an exact 70, so maybe I overestimated how good he would remain. I didn't really take a glance at his overall or his age, so we may be in some trouble there. We'll call up Johansson. We have quite a few guys down here. Toby Bentley's up to a 77 now at 21. Medium elite, right? Luukkonen didn't grow. He's listed as a minor league scoring forward. Yeah, I hate to see that. And then goaltending wise, we've got Jet Greaves, who didn't really grow. We've got Kilger and Kirsch. They're both growing pretty nicely, right? 76, 75. They're kind of a tandem together, inseparable in my mind. And you can see here, Bentley will move him up for Fix Wolanski. Gambrel over Foudy. I'm just trying to see, does anybody here fit the first line really? Oh, Fix Wolanski does. We don't get any kind of plus. Tyson Forrester, do you fit the first line? No, I think we're actually good. Luca up here, would you get a +1? We get a +2 by moving him off of it. Yeah, that's fine. Saralainen, I don't think we want to move him up, and then Primo. But defensively, okay, per Blomstrand, yeah, we're playing him. I guess he's playing there as a defense. Yeah, we've got enough defensemen. Wong as a 75 is really starting to shock me, right? Like, I'm going to give him the ice time up here alongside Bernie. There's Jake Christensen, too. Okay. We've got some interesting names here. +3 there if we put Grans up there. And then, obviously, in goal, we've got Kilger and Kirsch. Scratched is Lepisto. I actually don't think I want scratched. I think I'd bench Primo, Mason Primo for Lepisto, and we should be good. But in the NHL, I think we're fine. What I would like to maybe do is go out and upgrade Blake Lizotte. I was hoping somebody like Lidman would jump. He is an 80, which is nice to see, but I'd still like to see him do a little bit better. Beauvillier, okay, we get Marchenko up here. We get a +1 on both, but I think this line is fine as is. We do take a step back there at the third line center position. I don't think it's going to really hinder our ability to compete and contend, but it could be something that we address at the deadline again, right? Giving up some cheap assets, right? We gave up Pius Suter, who was that third line center. We give him up for Crosby. Maybe we can do something similar to that this offseason, but I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed this one. Subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next one.
It's a free for all.